Hello, welcome back. I'm Lady Darcy Darkness, and this is Confessions from the Darkside presents reviews from the dark side. How are you on this wonderful community? Let's get a disclaimer out of the way, shall we? Because I'm Darcy and I can't ever be trusted. We are full of so much adult content that some of you think this isn't necessary and some of you think this isn't needed. If you are one of those people, then thanks for checking me out. But I'll say this only once. If you can't stand the heat, then get the fuck out of my kitchen. Now, for everyone else who likes what we have here, then regular scheduled programming will continue. Shall we get started? And are we ready? So, what are we covering today? Well, it's reviews from the dark side, and we are going to be reviewing some of the movies that we watched last year. I'm just going to getting through all the reviews, and now we're at apartment 7A. And as I said in a previous podcast, I use CraigBot on Discord to record my content when I'm doing podcasts. Should I find someone else or something else to do it, then yes, I probably should. But he wasn't working. He fucked up and he fucked up a bunch of my recordings. So I have had to do again, haven't I? Yes, I'm just getting through all of that. Issues with Craig, whatever. What are we covering today? Like I said, reviews from the dark side and it's apartment 7A. Have you heard of Apartment 7A? It came out in 2024. It's a psychological horror, psychological thriller, and it's actually a prequel. Yes, a new movie that I had the pleasure of watching. What will I think? And have you had the pleasure of watching this movie also? As I said, it is a prequel to a very old yet still cult classic movie that still usually gets to number one, and that has been remade a few times with different takes, but this movie was set before. Let me know in the comments if you have seen it and what were your opinions. Let me know below. If you want to hear more, stick around, grab a drink, get comfy, and let's discuss, shall we? Let's take a dark, horrific mystery tour to a wonderful place where the future of Apartment 7A becomes Rosemary's baby. Yes. But this is how they got Rosemary, how they got to be in the backstory that we wanted, they've only ever scratched the surface of. They've never really got into it. And in 2024, we had a few prequels and a few things to fill in plot holes and create more storylines and ask questions that we have had questions to, that we wanted answers to, sorry, for a very long time. Let's dive in. What has Apartment 7A got to offer? As I said before, this is the story set before Rosemary's baby, the practice for the coming of the next Dark Lord, it seems, and how this is how we open for Rosemary. We must first have imagined how did they get to where they were, by who, by whom, and why? Well, some of these things are answered and some of things are still a bit sketchy, but this story has been done many a time, and this year we have had the First Omen. Well, last year we had the First Omen and Immaculate, both of which had strong attachments and influences from none other than the Catholic Church. Where there is evil, there is good, but in this case both seems to be as bad as each other. Wanting something that was a prophecy and trying to continue the work of many followers have failed before them. So let's see how we got from the origins to Rosie's baby, shall we? And what have we in store for the future? Well, it starts off in New York in 1965. It's kind of like a mime performer. The woman who they have their eyes on, not yet, but is the next one, is called Terry, and she is an aspiring performer. She is a dancer. And in that world, it's a very, very competitive place. It still is, and nothing has changed. She's putting all her focus into her dancing, into her craft. And some of us who have been unlucky enough to actually have our dreams crushed, like myself, and many others, through things that have happened, karma, just your luck, whatever. This seems to be what happens to Terry. So she's dancing, performing in the theatre, and she falls and her foot, her ankle, I believe. And it's not that she just goes over on it. You see it, you hear it, you know this is game over, and you know this is literally her reliving everything she has worked hard for her entire life. And you find out that her mother died when she was younger, and dancing was a big thing that helped her get over that dark time. And as you know, when you lose someone, putting yourself into something that you're passionate about and that you love, and that can take your focus away from the things that are happening outside, then you tend to do something that you're passionate about to protect you from the outside and the inside. So you can tell that she's worked incredibly hard, and she's came from like a really like hard working background because her father is a farmer, she says in the movie. She's literally trying to make a name for herself and wants to be better than what she believes she is. But lots of people do that in that world. It's very competitive. I can't leave behind that fucking noise. I really cannot. And the just reliving it right now. Again, that's her career down the toilet again. This happens way more time than you want to believe. So many dreams cut short due to the universe being a cock towards its inhabitants, and then you wonder why people have issues with the world and karma when they don't get what they have been trying so hard to accomplish but sacrificing so much to be dealt with a shitty hand. We've all been there. She tips a street musician who asks her how her leg is, and you can see that it's fucked. She's basically self-medicating, over-medicating, which again happens when you either think that you're in pain or you're just trying to mask the pain so you can get on with your life, which can actually cause more damage than good. And again, I see this because I do it all the time. So she kind of does some small talk with this guy because obviously he knows her and has seen her and sees her hobbling every single fucking day. The guy looks at her with great sadness and regret because, he's probably thinking she was an amazing dancer and she's fucked herself up and she's only did it because it was when she was dancing and that happened. And then I actually had to think to myself, when you watch this story, did it happen on purpose? Was this the universe's way of saying that they wanted her for other things? You never know. Again, she's living in a house which with a bunch of other like flatmates, housemates, and again, living in New York in 1965 would still be incredibly expensive. So you probably have like 20 girls staying in the one place because they all have the same objective and they're all trying to get to somewhere. So they basically live like this for a few years till they're found or someone finds them and they get out of that situation basically. So they want her to pull her weight and because she cannot work, they're living there because again close to things, close to work, etc. But she can't pay or do it or give them anything. It seems if they don't have anything to offer, then they want you out. They don't think you should be there, which is horrible because at the end of the day, you think, are they even friends? And it seems that they're not. It's like a means to an end kind of thing. But hey, she wants to stay and fight and try and work and pursue her dream even with an injury and recovery. But injuries such as this never heal the same and can destroy all the chances of your future. So she's being stubborn because she seems to think that she can change things. But again, a stubborn streak is not a bad thing. I have one. And it is a bad thing for me sometimes, but hey. She's going to auditions and it's not helping because she cannot keep up or stay mobile for long enough that the injury isn't fully healed or has become strong enough as it once was. And people notice it. She's the girl who fell, that's what they use constantly. Always been on the girl who fell, not the girl who was an amazing dancer whose dancing career was cut short due to an injury. No, she's the girl who fell and literally disgusted people by the injury itself. Over and over again, showing her leap and jump, torture of losing your chance, humiliation of trying to perform when you know it's causing pain and damage. She said she won't do it again, and this suited man says, good for you, as if he's proud of her. Let's give you all the feels of trauma and sadness by reliving a traumatic experience and doing the dance and practicing, and it's repetitive behavior, and you will, if you're anything like me, you'll keep remembering of how it felt when you fucked your foot or how you felt when you had the injury as it happened, what during it happening, your whole life flashing in front of you. It fucking happened. Again, her flatmate tells her to stop abusing the pills. Just like, just fucking leave her alone. She needs this for now. If it was you, you would deal with it probably in a similar way. She has a lot of feelings of self-loathe, self-hate, disappointment in herself, and most likely be ashamed to tell her family back home that she's a failure. So let her have the pain meds for now, okay? Again, flatmate get a call back and she's so happy, but she doesn't want to be happy, but she still is. She's gloating like fuck and doesn't want to be a dick about it in front of her. But from what I can gather, to live in this place, you either need a job or preferably be in the same sort of path. Yet she cannot be. She's high as hell and falling all over the place. Looks fun, not. Pukes and falls, and then there's this wee elderly couple, Minnie and Roman, played by Diane Weiss and Kevin McNally, and both actors very, very good. I love Diane Weiss. She was in lots of 80s movies. She was in Practical Magic. She's got a unique voice and she always plays really unique characters, and that's why I really like her. No matter her age, she's an amazing actress. She's just one of those really talented actors, thespians, and they find her. And I say find, it's like they're always on the lookout, put it that way. And again, it could be a random act of kindness, but this is Apartment 7A and it's a prequel to Rosemary's Baby, so I highly doubt that. Stop making us relive her fucked ankle again because they keep doing that. The drugs she's taking are obviously having an effect on her where she's not 100%, as you know, how pain meds what they can actually do to you. They actually do more damage than anything else. At least she wakes up and she's basically been in that old wee couple's home in the 60s. There were still serial killers then. Nice stories start off with horrific endings. But she's drinking they're making Bloody Marys. You're not a junkie, are you? This is what Minnie says there. The wee old dear. Well, prescription meds, as I said, are much worse, if not in the same caliber. Just because a doctor's prescribed you them doesn't mean that you don't need them or you should be taking them. They keep asking about the leg. Give it a rest already. It's fucked. It's not pretty. Let's just move the fuck on. We don't want to fucking relive it. Neither does she. 4 months ago, it was an accident, so it's still fresh, still sad, still painful. The woman is really caring in her own way and wants her to see her worth. But why though? Speculation. Beautiful apartment, as it was in Rosemary's Baby, offering her the place. But why though? Am I the only thinking why? Why? A random person that you've met that was vomiting in the street has fell on hard times, yeah, but you're literally inviting a stranger into your home to stay, having cooking and doing things for them. You're asking questions, but enough to actually get to know the person, but with them actually giving you information that a lot of people do for as a manipulation tactic. She is moving in, but her mate wanted her to leave or pay, and she can't pay or work, so she's taking the place. It's a lovely apartment, and we find out she doesn't eat meat because she grew up on a pig farm, and Minnie actually asks her, like, why don't you eat meat? And I think we've all been there when someone who doesn't eat meat and you ask them a question, why though? Because meat is tasty and delicious. Come for me in the comments if you're vegan, vegetarian. I really don't care. I can't always eat food and I miss meat. So, yes, I think we've all had that conversation. Minnie is the landlady and she brought a plant, more like spying and being a nosy typical old lady. She finds a shoe and has a name in it. Joan, apparently it's a dancer's shoe, and she slipped out during the night. Or did she? Or is there another reason? Tidied up but left one shoe? Okay. Not suspicious at all. Moving on. Now she's in the suited man's apartment. Now the suited man is the guy who asked her about her foot and all that and asked her. And now he's living in the same apartment because she was fucking stalking the guy, obviously, from the audition. He lingered behind her. And he's lingering behind the director in the theatre. Having an old fashioned, really. Then I think of a happy ending, but I can't unthink it. What can I say? Sitting on a comfy couch with this like director, and it doesn't really look comfy for anything other than to have sex on. It does not. My mind went straight to the gutter because it was like the right height, and I was just thinking of how far your legs would be when you're sitting to your fucking. Yeah, that's what happens every time I see furniture that looks like you could have sex on it, or it was made for having sex on it, but looks like a normal piece of furniture. They exist, so maybe in the 60s as well. I want to know what fuels you. Not safe for work. It's really seedy and weird. It seems to be trauma with her mother's passing on the farm, and this is what fuels her as dancing was her escape. It's weird. We all have an escape though. The guy just lit a cigarette because it's the 60s and apparently that's sexy. No, cancer is not sexy, but hey, with the biggest lighter that I've ever seen, it actually looked like something you could like use as a weapon. But it was a really cool looking piece of him lighting the cigarette and looking all cancer. Make a toast to body and soul. Is that him drugging her before they have sex by any chance? A bit of roofie in there, makes you just the right subservience so you can do what he wants and also he can get away with what he wants. Well, like we said, she's been roofied. One sip and she's all woozy, and the amount of painkillers she's taking, she'd be used to that sort of level of drug, and she obviously drinks on it, and she takes one sip of this drink, and she's pure wellied like fuck. No, seriously. Puts music on now, and now he's stripping her, and she's seeing really jazzy hands dancing with the guy. Aye, right, more like a coping mechanism before being attacked. Dancing, and now she's placed on a black bed, and the suited man is there watching her instead of having sex with her. Very ritualistic and fun. She's restrained, and then this bejeweled demon crawls up between her legs. She's went from fully clothed into her underwear in front of people, and then it goes back to the next morning. So he drugs her and gets to play with her, but doesn't get to completely play with her, and then hands her over to a bejeweled demon who looks like he was the next winner of RuPaul's Drag Race. He was that this demon had so much jewels on him. I think Sikorsky would be like, "Where the fuck? Give me back my jewels." Espresso never had it. He says, you must, because you're a posh fucking obnoxious snob. The morning after, no morning glory, not any fun, just one pump chump. Seriously, what the actual fuck? He's in a robe and he says he had a great time. Did you? A great time? You watched while a bejeweled demon had sex with her while she was drugged and tied down to a black bed. As sexy as that sounds, it's just like, no. She's in the practice yet she didn't get a call back, but she lets this sleazy sooty guy drug her and will have his way with her and give herself to a bejeweled demon, and all for what? And this is what's annoying me, is the fact that it's showing you again another seedy thing that women, even men in that industry, will do anything for fame, including let themselves be drugged, plied with booze, drugs, and manipulated and attacked, basically, just for money and clout. Even in the 60s, I think it would be much worse then, because it's not. People know about it now, but back then they probably wouldn't speak about it. But now no one gives a fuck and we all talk about it. Again, she has covered in what looks like kind of love bites, like hickey type bruises all over parts of her body. Like, someone has been getting a wee bit overzealous with the sucking in her body or have used something on her body. She's been accused of sleeping her way into the show by another dancer. Again, jealousy that she couldn't do the same, no doubt. And you get that a lot in this sort of competitive world. Some people will sleep to get there. Even with talent, they'll sleep to get to where they want to be. And I have no problem with that. As long as you admit it and be true to yourself rather than hide it. But the girl is a complete cunt to her. Because if she could sleep with the director, if the director wanted her, that is, then she would be running the show, I think she believes. But again, a director, writer, and all that carry on, it's not uncommon for them to actually sleep with the talent or the talent that they believe they're talented when they're not. Again, the nice old lady, Minnie, was introducing her to an influential woman and how she could help her with her injury. And now, after a scheme and a creative ploy, she wakes up and she can stand on her foot. No pain. It's healed. It's all healed up. Because of a paste? Really? Or is it something else that's being offered up as a sacrifice to whoever who is in control, have their kicks, and she gets her dream? The creepy neighbour introduction, they aren't interested in our friends. See, the fact that you're having a party and no one's interested in the people that you've brought, yet you have to be interested in the people they bring. Not fucking seedy or weird at all. All the connections are hers. They ask if she's from a big family, which again is a weird question, and no, just a follow up. It's so, will anyone miss you? If you become a nuisance perchance, here's my card. So they've asked if she's basically a big family and if people would miss her, basically, which is a big red flag of saying that there's something else going on. But again, all she can see is stars, money, clout, and her reaching her goal. And now she can stand with this magical pace. I want this magical pace, man. It literally, she looked like she'd never been injured and she was just literally partying like it's 1965, obviously, or 2000, like it's 1999, but it's 1965. They are up to someone. Everyone at the party is acting shifty and not natural. We eavesdrops and she sees some people in a room standing and chanting, not sus at all. People being weird in the 60s people versus people being weird now, what is worse? I have no idea. I don't know what to say. Thank you. It's a fur and has a beautiful necklace with a hair for luck, really lucky, or how she can be recognized by the demon or go unnoticed. Something is off with their generosity and their kindness and the way they are around her. It's a weird like protection but wary but nosy and controlling. They love you, yet they despise you, but you have something of theirs, so they keep you. It's weird. She in her apartment with her friends singing, and she throws a champagne glass outside, like the window, because she's quite far up. Because I think she's in the penthouse, I believe, or maybe not. She's in one of the not the penthouse. She's in the kind of building where you at the corner, so you can like see everything. I believe they're on that kind of that side where you can see everything. So it's a very expensive apartment she gets to live in rent free, but she didn't think there would be any sort of, hidden things at all. Come on, you fuck man. Just come on. That's obviously going to happen. They dance, she has the fur on, like she doesn't care, and she's powerful now. Again, like I said, she dances with the fur on, then you see a greyish demonic hands, kinda kinky. then it disappears. Not a jump scare though, just hands. She isn't sure yet if she's seen them before, who knows, but similar to the demon that appeared between her legs. See her stomach vomiting by any chance? Vomiting? Pregnant by any chance? Are you harvesting the Dark Lord's seed? And are you the new Dark Mother? I don't know about that Dark Lord's seed and being the Dark Mother. It's really, the Dark Mother carrying the Dark Lord's seed just has a really nice ring to it, don't you think? Did they need an oven that badly that they waited until they had an unlucky in life woman who wants fame and a career to trick her and lull her into a false safety and put the darkness in her by being kind and having an ulterior motive by any chance? For shame, Winnie and Roman, for shame. He's handed a pamphlet, The Joys of Motherhood. They don't hand them out anymore, I wonder why. Is it a joy back then? The judgment of an unmarried mother would be on Donald Sutherland pointing territory, uttering the word shame. It still happens, believe it or not. In the 60s, unmarried and whoring it is not a look for anyone because then no man apparently will want to marry you and want anything to do with you because apparently you had premarital sex with someone else and you've harvested their seed, so therefore he must marry you. So many unhappy, unneeded marriages in that time frame, but hey, the child is the next bedazzled demon of darkness. Competitive dancer joking about being pushed down the stairs and Terry shoves her. She looks at some bleach because guess what? She doesn't want to be in the family way. Showing you things you can drink, you could either kill yourself and your baby with demonic jism or dism. What would you call it? Dism? She sees a baby in the washing machine. Again, you sick bastard. Her hallucinations are awful for a new mother. What the fuck? I don't know whether it's because she was still taking said drugs for her leg. Then you've got that crazy thing around her neck. Then you've got the crazy fucking paste on her foot that's apparently making her magical. And now she's seeing babies in the washing machine. Most people see all that weird shit after they've had a baby and they've got postnatal depression. But hey, she's being gossiped about and someone puts an egg on her seat. And then they get a bollocking for destroying the property of the theatre. Unexpected news. This is the end of her career, yet he says, who's a suited man, the director, things will change, her dreams will change, and he can make it happen. Creepy how he's touching her body and saying everyone will see what she is capable of is weird because it's not even his dism. It's his Dark Lord's dism at the end of the day. He just drugged her and probably got a cop of fuel and then he got to watch while the bedazzled demon literally had his wicked way with her. Also weird, a random guy that has just got you up the stick is so happy about it, even back then, and not unhappy about it, because it wasn't meant to be. Makes no sense. Plenty family around that have helped her, and she says you're not family. Come with us. It's a bassinet, a chosen family, but not so chosen there for a reason and not by her choice. This is Winnie and Roman that they want to take the baby from her because they don't have any children of their own and they tried for years and blah 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 blah. Strangers that gave you a house, strangers that gave you the ability to walk, ability to dance again, strangers who brought you into their life, strangers who are randomly there, strangers who got you with the director and then you got roofied and then now you're up the stick. Yeah, are you not fucking ticking all these boxes that something is definitely not right here and all is not well in Kansas? You know? Okay. So gullible. A nursery, they said. They will take the baby. Minnie and her husband Roman were weird. They were kind of old, and back then, most likely their life is coming to an end, as the life expectancy would be less back then, even if you had the cash due to how the rich live. They burn the candle at both ends, then wonder why they die young. They want to give her whatever she wants to be, which is the stage, and they said they want to give her more than that. Showbiz is about relationships. Let us take care of things because they have the money and the contacts and can make it so. All she has to do is carry baby to term and give it. And again, you can still get attached. So that's asking a lot of Terry, aren't they? You know, to have this baby and give it up to them. You don't actually realise what it's like even when people are surrogates and the baby isn't theirs, but they are the oven. They are attached to the baby. They hear the baby's heartbeat. The baby hears their heartbeat. The baby is attached. The heartbeat is a lullaby for the baby. The baby will always know her smell. The baby will know everything because the baby, even though it's part demon or part dark, it's still a baby at the end of the day, and it will know its mother. It will feel its mother and know her. So even giving the baby up for adoption or giving the baby over to them, she could still have an emotional attachment because it's something that you can't actually turn off. Some people believe they can, but they're really just fucking fooling themselves. This has been done plenty before, and they're all involved in that building. They may not know everything, but they are all involved in some way, cult or not. An investment in the future, they said, of whose future, theirs, yours, ours, the world's, whose life, whose world. We don't know at this point, or that's what they're just trying to make her feel like she's super powerful and they're doing something to help her and she can be successful if she does what they say. Again, manipulation. Now we live in her trauma, the ritual, the time where she was used to bear the coming of the Antichrist, it seems, in front of the whole building, dressed in dark robes and runes on their foreheads as a secret symbol and ritual to bring forth what they have been preparing for all these years to bring him here finally. Why is it always male? Why not she? Women can be more brutal and cause more devastation than men. Our version of chaos is closer to hell on earth, but hey, they know better. Her covers ended up being taken down again in her bed. This time she's in a white sheet, not black. And why would they need to come back for a second time? Did they fail or did they want to recreate the Invisible Man's ability to recreate that night, that important night? A shadow and an old woman who helped her foot trying to take her out all at once. She apparently cannot go through this again and they have gone too far. Who the fuck is they? I didn't want to have to come to this. I have to stop it. I must stop it. And then she tries to attack Terry. Crazy old lady, a few sandwiches short of a picnic, definitely. She tries to take the shears under the door, then it seems that she has a heart attack or something. Or something has caused this episode. Just think, they've been preparing for the Antichrist's rebirth and then they've realised that it's a mistake and if something's going to happen, so she tries to take the Terry out or the baby out, and it's I think it's more of an emergency, kind of reaction, distress, and also for the cult as well. Just think they've got so far, and this is maybe the furthest they've came to this point without any complications or anything to do with the mother and the complications. And this woman who's healed her foot is just said no, they've taken a step too far. Even she realizes that it's like fucked up. Would you feel safe after a crazy old lady tried to kill you? They've come to check on her, Winnie and her husband Roman, and they said the woman is comatose and she saved her. They want her to rest. There's a secret passage to another apartment because they're all connected. As this sounds so creepy and odd, they gave an apartment that they can watch her and monitor her and keep her close without her knowing them, knowing she was the chosen, and they could have keep a close eye on her by giving her a fresh start and a new life. The lengths one will go to for the cause, it seems stalker and very serial killer-like, wouldn't you say? Terry finds a book with runes like an apothecary alternative medicine and how she cannot go on. Go on. Blonde, who's really mean to Terry. Well, she actually looks like she becomes possessed and her body starts to contort and break in front of everyone. It looks like a possession. And she is the lead again, so she's getting what she wants through the circumstances of she wants, she gets, and this is her reward for carrying said child, said seed. She got the part, she's the star with her name up there in front and centre in the lights, the twinkly lights everybody fucking wants apparently. I don't know how long she's been living there for now, and how far along her pregnancy is, and how long an oven for the Antichrist bakes. You don't know how long they bake them to if they are technically 9-month gestation or maybe 10 months, which is the 40 weeks based on in 1965. It's weird. You just don't know. Rosie didn't come along to 1968, so it couldn't have been weeks, maybe months, etc. Then the pregnancy, etc. At least one every few years, as they seem to be committed to the cause. So I don't doubt they could get away with doing it every year or doing it multiple times in the year. They would have to wait because it seems that they're looking for someone who needs something from them so they can take what they want from the person, like a financial agreement type thing. She's having her hair cut by Minnie, another way of getting close to her to collect some for the future, maybe, including cutting her ear. Blood and hair always good in rituals and spells. She has short hair for the part and her name is in lights on the opening. The music is very ominous. Pregnant and slaying it, as Minnie said, you can't control. When it is your time, but it wasn't. They made her time by putting obstacles in her path and then making you rely on things so that you have nowhere else to turn, causing turmoil in your life. So you seek answers from elsewhere or others to ostracize you. So you're the perfect specimen for what they need. She's just went from early pregnancy to 7 months in a heartbeat, and then it's a vision, and she's on the phone to her doctor saying that hallucinations and pains are they normal, and she thinks there's something wrong with her or the baby. She is crazy, she feels, and measures have to be taken while pregnant. You think? Your hormones are never the same again after having a baby, and for the first, 3 to 5 years of your child's life, if you don't have another child in that time. If you do, then you literally are totally screwing up your hormones again. And yes, having your children close together is a good thing, but it fucks with your hormones and you're never the fucking same again. People don't fucking like talking about it, but it fucking happens. Minnie is waiting and she tried to enter, but the latch is on. The creepy lady's hair book and necklace and a picture of a pregnancy, why they've used it, why do they use it, who uses it, what does it do, and she's found out that pretty much all the gifts and stuff that she's been given, there's an ulterior motive. That's when Minnie tries to enter the house, or enter the apartment, and she said she's made too much dinner. Teddy said she's not hungry, and she shuts the door. She looks through the peephole, and guess what? She knows she's watching her. Yeah, because you can fucking see her feet on both sides. She puts the necklace down, packs her bag and gets ready to leave. I think the other shoe dropped through the floor and is waiting at the front door for her to leave now. With all those eyes watching, how the fuck can she leave? She won't get far, surely. A head start, maybe? Are they playing along, but they're giving her a choice now? The woman's shoe Terry found in her apartment at the start with her name sewn in, Joan, and then she seemed to have it as Terry has it, and she did leave. They found out that she was on the run for another reason. She worked she found basically where the girl was, where she was working, and found out that she asked to keep her stuff while she left. She was in the process of leaving, and that was 6 months ago, and she didn't come back for her thing. And yet they didn't even check. But apparently this is normal for people to up sticks and leave. She had a holy Bible and she had underlined some passages, and then it burns. Terry, you have the spawn of the Antichrist, and again, I hate the fact that they fucking do this. The devil, Lucifer, was an archangel. An angel. So he would still be able to touch a Bible as he was created. He was the first and then sent there as a punishment. You know the story, so he wouldn't have this inability to touch a Bible and enter a church. He most likely wouldn't want to, as he did not believe in this universe created by his father. But the mother being human and Christian, it seemed they wouldn't have this. But hey, I love how they tried to push that, obviously, because the baby's the Antichrist, that they wouldn't be able to touch a Bible and shit, you know what I mean? Because I guess they keep saying no matter what, a baby is born of innocence, no matter what. So again, a wee bit meh when it came to that. Satan worshippers and the book, the apothecary book, is the scripture, and they've been roaming and controlling that apartment block for decades, and they're up to no good. The nun from the church says Terry informs her she's the new vessel. They did terrible things and she was hit by a bus. Someone was chasing her. The coven have been trying to recreate the bloodlines. They have chosen you, the nun says. If this child is born, God have mercy on us all. And again, it's only a fucking baby. The baby wouldn't be able to do anything really destroying or chaotic until it was able to lift its own fucking head up and actually be able to talk and be able to do these things. But hey, no doubt will be changed, manipulated, and moulded by Roman to become the Antichrist. And if the baby became a problem, no doubt Roman would take it out. Terry goes for a backroom coat hanger special. A bit graphic for a Tuesday when I watched this, but hey, if you don't know what that is, it's and back then, if people weren't taking copious amounts of drugs to get rid of their problem, which is a horrible thing to say, then the coat hanger was a painful, discomforting experience that some people, that was their only option. It's too late. The baby is coming, and that she has to face it on her own. The woman who tries to do it, she hears a lot of whispering of Terry. The woman looks petrified, and then she is taken out. She has some sort of stroke, and not the good one. So again, the baby has a safety mechanism that something was about to happen. So it was protecting itself, and in turn protecting the mother and taking out the woman who's about to do it. She doesn't want anyone else to get hurt, yet there will always be casualties. It's the price of what has to happen. for this to be executed or not. She has to deal with it herself, yet she cannot because she's under surveillance from everyone. What would you do for your dream? That's the question. She could die in the process of the child being here. Complications in childbirth is common, yet they seem to think they are different. No matter the money you have, complications and tragedies, it happens. All new-found luck was given to her, but they took everything away so that they could put her under false pretenses and have her rely on them, and asking about her family is another way of saying they wouldn't miss her and they wouldn't look for her if anything did happen. Alan, who's the Diddy of this story, what the hell is this place? An old theatre. But you see the runes and the symbols and the ritual of making her mother of the Antichrist. You really are a marvel. Shock horror. A woman who took one for the team and grew a tiny human inside of her room. Oh my fucking god, she is a medical marvel. For some of us, that, again, being told that you can't have kids, I've been there. To actually find out you are pregnant is like, wow, you all got it wrong. But again, they keep calling her a medical marvel and all that shit. He spoke of others. You crave the spotlight, but you always belonged in the darkness. I hear that. Don't we all? I don't think I want to share my darkness with those zealots, though. Thank you. He says she's powerful, and she just stabbed him with a sacrificial blade as well. Go Terry! She grew a pair already. Imagine thinking he was the chosen seed dealer. Nope, he was the pretty packaging for her, as they asked if they knew each other at the start when they met and how they knew each other, but Terry wasn't interested in him. They got him for her, and he seemed to be a part of it. Then he got his own part in the coming of the Antichrist. He got to pretend he was powerful and that it was his seed, but it was not. Does he have a tiny penis and need constant validation? So they wanted him to feel powerful, so they made it happen? I was joking. As long as it works, it doesn't matter about the size. She saw the goat head, and underneath, so the creepy old guy, Minnie's husband, he is the seed bearer. Oh my fucking god, you freaky old wrinkly dude. Whoa. Could your wife not be the bringer of Satan when she was younger, or did she fail to? Was she not the chosen of all? Is she not good enough? Is that why she allows you to go on a woman finding mission for the cause? What the actual fuck? Is Winnie an voyeur? Oh, Winnie. Is Minnie an voyeur? Oh, Winnie, you are full of such wonderful secrets, aren't you? But you're nothing special. The doorman says, I'm sorry. Are you, though? Then locks the door. She's now a prisoner in the building. She always was a prisoner the minute she gave Minnie and Roman the time of day. So am I right in thinking that Terry was passed around like a bong around the full coven that night? And they all had a bukkake party with her lady parts? It would assume so. To fulfill the prophecy, everyone in the coven has to take one for the team. Original generation members, I bet. Did they draw straws, or was it like a train tally or raffle ticket? I know about Joan. I know that what you did, and what is that, Terry? You use your big words now. Make them count. That's not how it was, girlie. Again, why do all people get so condescending when they want to make a point to the younger generation? You just sound like a dickhead, and we hate that. Everyone does. I do it. I'm bad for doing it. You were a mess when we found you, and we given you everything. We have a deal. An unspoken deal, and a shady one at that. You promised her things that she didn't even know what she was getting into. You took advantage of her in the state she was after everything and had happened to her. An unspoken deal, and a shady one at that. You promised her things that she didn't even know what she was getting into. You took advantage of her being in the state she was after everything and that had happened to her in her life. They made it worse so she would have to rely on you, which is control, manipulation, and abuse. And nothing was discussed. You drugged her, you essayed her with the whole congregation, and you are now butthurt that she's realised that all your kindness and love was fake and that you have an ulterior motive when it was too late, but she's figured it out and that they aren't who they claim to be because she was down, depressed, and gullible. Come on, she was so gullible. She was such a gullible twat that it wanted something she may never achieve and didn't care how she got it. But this doesn't justify what they done and have been doing, all for the cause. Their cause. She takes a knife and turns it around, and she's unable to go through with it because she has no control of the child growing inside of her. It could be the maternal instinct that some have spoken about, where you won't let anything happen even though you know it cannot happen because you can feel them move, you've heard their heartbeat because there's connection. Baby doesn't like it, baby's here to stay, so you cannot stab yourself. You are evil, Terry to Roman. Roman, because I worship a different god. Roman's father was the one who was the OG and found a way of bringing the child this power to our world, and has passed down through the years of how they will do it again and how they will make it happen. So he is the hierarchy of this faith, and that he has been the leader to bring forth, as did his father before him, as would he. Many by his side watching, manipulating and abusing women for decades to make this so she could be by his side, to get them close, to be closer with Terry. And Roman is the one who was born into this, and Terry's son will rule. This was a role you were born to play. Alan had a role to play. He is not the father, he was the pretty rapper that drugged her and served her up to Roman in the coven. They are washing her very weird. Weird wee fish there. Why make her pure for him when she would be filled with a demon seed unless it's the seed of all the followers? No doubt was. Moving on. He will live in every soul on this earth. They will know your name, the coven. God is dead, Satan lives, the year is 1, not 666, not 6, not 13, not 9, but 1. Hail Terry, mother of our Lord, hail Satan. Creepy old people wanting to worship her and go back to the orgy. Does she get any more orgy time? Is it a once she's done it, once you don't get invited back to the massive key party in the basement? Is it all a one time only for the vessel? She has had a drink and she screams, Hail Satan. She gets balls at this point. A bit convenient that she's now riding on the Satan train, but Meg giving them a show in the building, dancing all weird and making them think there is a silent dubstep party. You cannot figure out what Skrillex song it is, cause her dancing makes no sense. Now she's dancing to Be My Baby. You know the song it's in Dirty Dancing, like Be My, Be My, Be My Little Baby, that song. She's dancing to that. Again, it was a popular song in the 60s. So it's creepy dancing, take what she wants performing, giving them the performance of her life. I'm so confused because it's interpretive dance. It went on for longer than it should have. Please make it stop. You were right, Minnie. It's the role of a lifetime. And Terry hugs her. Again, false caring kindness towards Minnie. Is she wrapping them around her little finger now to manipulate them into a false security, perhaps? Give them what they least expect, then it's too late. And then she goes out the window. And they cannot stop her, and there she goes. Their Messiah and Terry bashed. Someone's poor car on the way down, then bounced onto the pavement. Her bad ankle is the least of her worries now, isn't it? Then angelic voices, and it was just marvellous. She knew she had to take herself out to save everyone. It wasn't too late for her to show that this failed to happen because she took her chance to prevent a catastrophe here on Earth and stop the zealots from bringing down the world. But I bet you wish they did. Would the world be any worse than what it is now? As it wouldn't be that difficult now, would it? Did Terry deprive us of all of a better world? The selfish bitch. Many in Roman have seen their next victim, speaking to the police, a witness. And there we have it again, start over. They will get their baby and their prophecy at any cost, just as the original movie would start and the whole cycle was set. How long has it been, the death of Terry and this tragedy to Rosemary? And how long did they wait to impregnate her? The end. Some questions answered and some doors left open, some space to expand the story. Let's see what IMDb is saying and what information and fun facts there are that we may not know. Let's delve into Apartment 7A on IMDb. Let's see. So, like I said, it's an hour and 47 minutes long. It was a 15. It was out last year. Psychological horror, psychological thriller, horror thriller. It also takes the poster of the green from the Rosemary's Baby and actually uses the building with Terry's pose from her dance. And again, it came out on the 27th of September last year. It was directed by Natalie Erica James, and also she wrote it with Christian White and Skylar James. A struggling young dancer finds herself drawn into dark forces when a peculiar, well-connected older couple promises her a shot at fame. And Julia Garner, Diane Weiss, like I said, Kevin McNally, Jim Sturgis, Marley Sue, Rosie McEwen, Andrew Buchan, Anton Blake Horowitz, Anton Blake Horowitz, Tina Gray, Patrick Leicester, Rachel Atkins, Andre Lillis, Simon Adkins, and a bunch of other people that really did not have much to do with it. So it says an ambitious young dancer named Terry dreams of fame and fortune in New York City, but after suffering devastating injury, an old wealthy couple welcomes her into their home in a luxury apartment building, the Bramford, When fellow resident and influential Broadway producer offers her another chance at fame, it seems that all her dreams are finally coming true. However, an evening she cannot fully remember disturbing circumstances soon have her second guessing the sacrifices she's willing to make for her career. She soon realizes that something evil is not living not only in apartment 7A, but in Bramford itself. So let's see what words we have. We have psychological horror, prequel, year 1965, The Devil, Apartment Building, Satanism, Dancer, Witchcraft, Pregnancy, 1960s, Dark Forces, Psychological Thriller, Satanism, Italian American, Church, Suicide, Nun, Asian Woman, Witch, Drugged, Bloody Mary the Drink, Broken Ankle, Character Says Merry Christmas, Christmas Party, R, which I'm not saying because it's a trigger word, Old Fashioned the Drink, Supernatural R, who the fuck knew that was a thing, which should be Fantasy R, but anyway. Pantyhose, Fishnet, Pantyhose, titled, directed by female, stage play, Satan, Fear, Asian. Fear and Asian are different words, not in the same sentence. Dance, vomiting, tap dancing, espresso, casting call, reference to Cinderella, drinking while pregnant, R by a demon, stab in the abdomen, R victim, reference to Fiddler on the Roof, the stage musical, really after Our Victim, reference to Goodwill Industries, vomiting in a toilet, reference to Fiddler on the Roof again, unwanted pregnancy, holy fuck. Character says Hail Satan. Hail Satan. Falling on a car, seen during end credits, sitting on a windowsill, character named Laura. Female vomiting, black man and African American. Half of those words didn't even need to be fucking in there, but hey. Parents Guide, let's see. Rosemary was not the first, no, and was she the last? You never know. Rated R for some violent content and drug use, sex and nudity mild, violence and gore moderate, profanity mild, alcohol, drugs and smoking mild, and frightening intense scenes moderate. So, the R scene shows what took place, including the victim being put in restraints. And again, you don't know if she's into that, so there. Don't make call her a victim into restraining. Hello. Revealing attire on female dancers includes nipples shown through clothes and breast cleavage exposure. Holy shit, women have breasts and nipples. Who knew they were going to be offensive? Violence and gore. A person's limbs spontaneously twist and contort, making them cry out in pain. I'm not surprised. One person suddenly attacks another with a pair of scissors. Funny boiler. A person is stabbed, resulting in brief bloody aftermath detail. If you're stabbed with bloody shears or stabbed with any implement, it's not going to not give you blood. There is going to be blood. Deal with it. There is a scene involving an A, although the procedure is quickly interrupted by the woman having a stroke. Not the good stroke, the stroke that is a TIA. At the end of the movie, the main character commits S by throwing herself from a window, hitting the roof of a car and falling to the ground. Some blood is shown, very disturbing. She jumped out a window. It's disturbing. She needs to fall somewhere. It's not like she's going to fucking float, is she? What the fuck? Profanity, a very mild case of arse, hell and damn, and hail Satan that they have not put in, but hey. Alcohol, drugs and smoking. A person takes an excessive amount of painkillers to cope with chronic pain. That's just everyday life, people. Characters smoke and drink as well, but she drinks while she's pregnant as well, yet they've not fucking put that under there. Frightening intense scenes. R is a large element of the movie. Yes, well, they want something, but they're not sure if they're going to get it. A woman experiences disturbing visions of demonic entities. Well, yes. She also dreams about and daydreams about a baby in a washing machine, yet you didn't fucking, oh my god, do that. So a few jump scares. Where? So again, it seems to just be a 15 everywhere. Let's see. That's us done the parental guide. It says, trivia, Minnie offers Terry a vodka blush. Roman makes the same drink in Rosemary's Baby, tying Terry to Rosemary. Because it's the drink. Who the fuck knows? They're probably fucking putting it. The song Angel of the Morning was made famous by Mary Lee Rush in 1968, and the story is set in 1965. But Rosemary's Baby was actually out in 1968, but hey. So they've literally put a song in there, and it wasn't even out yet. In the mid-credit scene, we see Rosemary and Guy Woodhouse in front of the apartment block while Minnie and Roman watch them like creepy bastards. Other thing was that Rosemary was actually in the laundry room, even though she didn't live in the building at that time. Why would she be using the laundry building if she wasn't in fact living in that house at that time? It's weird. Again, Rosemary's Baby gets 8. It still originally gets 8, but this gets 5.8 for a prequel. But again, it's like meh. So let's see, has it got anything? Again, it was released on the 28th in the UK, not the 27th. It was originated in the United States, United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. We'll do 10 star, 1 star, then the review star, then what I give it, and then that will be it. So let's say 10-star reviews. Very good prequel, don't listen to the haters. First off, I'm not a fan of Rosemary's Baby, you should shut the fuck up, but I have seen it a few times. This is an excellent prequel, I went in having low expectations and found it to be very good. Diane Weiss is fabulous and absolutely captures the essence of the original actress from Rosemary's Baby, I do agree with that. The acting and story is well paced and well thought out. People who don't like this are just hating on this movie to hate it regardless of whether it's good or not. This movie is actually scary on many levels and more interesting than the original Rosemary's Baby. To me, it's beautifully shot and captures that period of time well. Definitely give it a watch. I agree with them that it's been perfectly matched and captures the period of time from, and fine well, I don't like it when you talk about the scenery and you talk about certain things that you only say when the movie is shite. I feel that they did capture the 60s well. Diane Weiss was amazing in her character. She was creepy and kind all at the same time. She managed to make you feel safe, yet there was something odd and off about her, and you questioned her behaviours, and you also questioned her husband's behaviours as well. They tried to tie in a lot of things from Rosemary's Baby with this prequel, so it would have a fluidity of this movie to Rosemary's Baby. Which a lot of people are going to hate a prequel. I hate prequels, as you know, and sequels and things like that. But Rosemary's Baby's never had a prequel. They've only ever tried to remake it as a TV show, as miniseries, and as movies. They've never actually went back to tell us how they were doing what they were doing, why they were doing what they're doing, and what was the reason. We understand that you're trying to bring the Antichrist here, and you want basically the Antichrist to rule the world, like a very Damien-like Omen type world, even though Rosemary's Baby predate the Omen and things like that. It was again, it's not just a cult classic, it's a cult classic based around a cult. And they always make sure that the Satanism and religion that's not Christianity is evil when Christianity is just as evil. All religions are, because of what they actually do to their congregation. It's manipulation and mind control basically that a lot of faiths actually use for you to actually follow them. So all religion is fucked up. I don't have a problem with people who are religious, as I've said before, as long as you're not hurting anybody in yourself. I really don't give a fuck. Fucking praise whatever fucking god, make your own god, who the fuck knows. I don't give a fuck. But in this movie, I feel that they did show what people will go to with an aim and objective, especially when it's based on religious belief. And I do believe that they managed to bring that forth in their message in this movie to have the validity for the story of Rosemary's Baby and how we are today. So I do agree with the Kiko Darling who did this review and gave it 10 out of 10, but I don't believe it was 10 out of 10, but they were probably doing the 10 out of 10 because of the haters doing all this bullshit. Please watch this brilliant movie, especially if you're a woman. Okay. Be about sexist there. This is an exceptionally nuanced take on, I hate that word, what looks like to be a woman in a society that does not grant them equal status. And again, not everybody gets equal status even now, whether you're a man or a woman. Plus, it's so fun, scary, and beautifully acted. Julia Garner gave me goosebumps many times, especially with the last scene, which was my favourite. Diane Weiss was also perfect, and again, she is always perfect in everything she is in. This is one I'm going to have to watch multiple times because of all the little ways it manages to comment on our current society by contrasting and comparing it to the era the movie takes place in. While it definitely nods its head to the classic, like Rosemary's Baby and The Omen, it's still very fresh and unpredictable. It's not unpredictable, it's very predictable. You knew exactly what the fuck was going to happen at the end. So let's do 1-star reviews of the haters, shall we? Rosemary's Boring Baby. Well, make a prequel to the really scary and great movie classic Rosemary's Baby when you tell everyone right from the start it is good and is the same as the original. Rosemary wasn't the first mega devil facepalm, because one mega facepalm doesn't cut it in this case. So it is the same story all over again, but this time made by a director you have never heard of before for a good reason, instead of a very troubled genius like Polanski. When the whole point of this totally unnecessary remake was to bore you until you can't take it anymore, they have succeeded. But even if you didn't know exactly what would happen, this clunker is really bad. Bad acting and an absolute nonsensical script and so tedious, nothing of interest happens there. They even botched the ending. Hollywood clearly has run out of ideas and talented filmmakers long time ago. Yes, I do agree with that. This is a remake or prequel nobody wanted or needed made by filmmakers, and I use this term very lightly in their cases nobody wants or needs. Do not waste your time, because unless you need a good sleeping pill, they're saying it's a snorefest, as that it works wonders and it will put you down just in a few minutes. But if you dare to watch it all, you'll surely get an entry in the Guinness Book of Records for the most facepalms ever made while watching a really bad movie. Be warned of the curse of Rosemary's Boring Baby. And this was Callie Atixa. I'm sorry, Callie, but the facepalm I have is when I'm reading your fucking review, because all you've done is basically say a couple of choice words. You've literally called them bad actors when there was no bad acting in that movie. I'm sorry, but you've got really good actors who actually are proper thespians at work. They tried to make it dark. They tried to make it as accurate to the 60s as they can, and they tried to show you what the world was like and what the world hasn't changed, basically, from then until now. But hey, I would like to know what age Callie is, because she literally sounds like she is 20 and has no experience of life as we know it. So they gave it 5.8. So I'm going to go, because 5.8 is closer to 6, I'm going to do a 6 out of the 10 and see how it goes. Julia Garner shines in a prequel that lacks intensity. Director Natalie Erica James embarks on a mission to give us a prequel that can at least match Roman Polanski's 1968 classic. And the truth is that we are left with a film with a great leading lady, but one that falls a few steps short of achieving the milestone of matching the original. It was never going to match the original, people. It never was. Now, this is a fucking story by this Saul Live Levarism. Okay, I can't fucking say your name. I've probably butchered that. It has good ideas at its core, especially the dreamlike moments of the protagonist that resemble that atmosphere of 1968. It's 1965. But hey, but as we get deeper into the story, we lose strength that would lead us to a more satisfying horror impact, and also take into account that it plays quite a bit with the references of Rosemary's Baby in several parts. Well, it would, because it's a fucking prequel. What does it excel at is presenting us with the great protagonist who is allowed to shine in a consecrating way. Julia Garner, who makes that leap to demonstrate what a great actress she is and the star she has become with each job. On this occasion, she takes on a character with all the elegance, talents, and first-class charisma. She makes the film her own, and in turn, the film works on the strength that the actress delivers in her moments to reach a final climax, where she is totally consecrated as far as the star of the show. The actress manages to transmit the personal drama in a very forceful way, where one can highlight as a great strength the depth and personality of a character with whom you connect at all times. When we get into the substance that the film offers us, it is here where we find the lowest points of the proposal, and that is where we are left with a script that, although it clearly addresses personal drama, when it must reach the moment of terror, it lacks the necessary intensity to give us symbolic moments or moments of more enjoyment that allows the film to stand out more strongly as an excellent horror film. Its strength only allows it to be correct, but passive way of confronting sex, the devil, and a prequel to a classic of the genre. In any case, Apartment 7A works as a decent movie that doesn't waste time, largely due to its protagonist and a rather interesting direction. It may fall short in intentions and more challenging ideas, but it fulfills its role as a movie that goes straight to platforms and without greater ambitions than to provide a moment of entertainment, and honestly does achieve this in several passages, where it intelligently provides an ending to the journey that is the most rewarding of the entire film. Which again, I really do agree with that. I really do agree with that review, that the actress was very good. The also supporting actors like Diane Weiss, amazing actress. They really made us believe that, you know, she was a creepy old lady with an ulterior motive, that you could love her but hate her and want to kill her and want to be with her all at the same time. The stages of clout chasing has never changed. The way people chase clout and fame has never changed. They will go to any sort of excess to get there, which shows in 1965. Imagine what it's like now, where it's amplified and things are known in that world that people do to get to where they are, whether they're talented or not. The lengths they will go to, which we are now finding out the amount of things that people have done to get to where they are, whether they get to be there or not. It's beyond me. They managed to encapsulate a time period of the 1960s and now, which I felt was really good. The clothing, the music, and just the way people are, especially with the random act of kindness. People did kind things, they did help strangers. That doesn't always happen these days, because people are all out for themselves more than they ever have been, and it kind of showed you a simpler time, even though it had a dark aspect of bringing forth the antichrist. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. I didn't find it boring. The only thing that I said when I was discussing it and have discussed it with other people is I feel like when they realised what she was actually doing, and when she goes to see the nun kind of just says, yeah, they've been doing it for years. Why did she not? She found Joan's shoe at the start. Why did she not think, oh, was there a Joan that lived here before and maybe like say to her, oh, I have your shit or some of your stuff has been left? Like, a kind random act of kindness. She could have found out that, the person in the apartment left because she was pregnant and there was like all this other shit going on and how she was found dead because she was hit by a bus apparently. So she could have actually prevented all this if she actually just used her brain rather than she saw the building, she saw what she could have and literally washed everything from her brain, like her intelligence, and became gullible like within a heartbeat. That's the one kind of gripe I had, that she was smart enough to get to where she was, but when she had her injury and obviously her mind was clouded with the drugs and stuff and the manipulation that was already going on, that she forgot about being intelligent and having a brain, and she just did everything that they expected her to do because they were giving her something that she wanted that she couldn't have and she couldn't get on her own. So that's what kind of annoyed me about the whole situation. So let's see. It's an old-fashioned tale of grooming someone to their cause to give everything in return. For a small token, a whim for rent, and the world descending into chaos for the coven. Have you managed to watch Apartment 7A? If so, what are your thoughts? What do I think? I give this movie 3 out of 5. Why? Because I'm a fan of Rosemary Baby. I hate the fact that any religion is demonized in film, all to push a narrative. If one is going to be demonized, they all should be. And why is it the Stark faction is used as a symbol of evil when birth is of life and light? Just because the child's DNA is of the Dark Lord doesn't mean that they would grow up to be this. As an individual, we have the power to be who we want to be and not of what our past fathers have been. But they want to bring forth him for their beliefs, their mission, and not what the child wants. And why would they now? Down to these people when in fact he would be all ruler and saviour to their cause, yet they are the ones with the power. Let that sink in. They had a good cast, a good story, and let us see behind the curtain of this cult horror classic. What people will do for clout hasn't changed much now, has it? What would you do? Would you give your womb to grow and birth the next Antichrist? Is it worth it to birth the all-powerful? Let me know in the comments below. That was Confessions from the Dark Side presents reviews from the other side. Let me know, were you shocked, impressed, disappointed about this? Would you give it a less out of 5? Would you give it more out of 5? Do you think Diane Weiss needs to just be in everything because she's a marvellous actress and she's done so many amazing projects over the years? Let me know in the comments below. What was your favourite part? Who is your favourite actor in this movie? And do you think that the 10s were too glory, or were the ones far too hateful? Let me know in the comments below. If you like content like this, remember you can go to Confessions from the Dark Side social media platforms that are Twatter, which is X, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Buzzsprout. Let us know what you think over our social media platforms, and let's get chatting about this topic, all the topics. Let's grow our community and spread how awesome the horror community actually is. If you need to reach out to me at any point, you can get me at confessionsfromthedarkside@gmail.com, all one word, all lowercase. If you think there is something out there that I am not aware of, or you want to bring to my attention that you want us to talk about, let me know. You can email us there. I am Lady Darcy Darkness. This is Confessions from the Dark Side. This is Reviews from the Dark Side, Apartment 7A, and I will see you in the next one. Later.